So today we're going to be talking about self-efficacy. First, we're going to start by talking about what self-efficacy is. Next, we'll look at the effects self-efficacy has on us. And finally, we'll discuss where self-efficacy comes from. Now, before we get into all that, I'd like you to do a little exercise for me. Think about your math capabilities. Are you a math person? Do sines and cosines fill you with dread? Why or why not? Hold on to that as we move forward. So, self-efficacy is essentially a person's metacognitive measure of their ability to accomplish a specific task. It's not to be confused with overall self-esteem or some sort of generalized feeling of competence. People have self-efficacy levels that are specific to a single task or domain. For instance, a person could have high self-efficacy for driving an automatic car, but still be very, very uncomfortable driving stick. So, what does that mean for our day-to-day lives? Our evaluation of ourselves has a profound effect on how we interact with the world. It can impact what we choose to do, how much effort we put into a task, how persistent we are in achieving a goal, the emotions we feel about what we are doing, our metacognitive processes, and the strategies we use to complete a task. Say a student has low self-efficacy in their ability to do math. That student will above all else try to avoid doing math, and when forced to do so, will make less of an effort, be less persistent, and feel negative emotions about the task. I am bad at math, therefore I will do poorly, so why bother putting any effort into the task? This is a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. By not putting effort into the task, a person would get poor grades, and those poor grades would then loop back around and lower their self-efficacy further. Taking your self-evaluation from earlier, how has that impacted your current major? Have you chosen a degree that avoids or embraces math? Does that match up with your self-evaluation? If you had to take both math and non-math courses, would you say one was easier than the other? Now, let's talk about where self-efficacy comes from. Self-efficacy can come from a few places. First, we have mastery experiences. These come from doing a task over and over again, which either increases or decreases your confidence in that task. For example, reaching a new personal weightlifting record increases your self-efficacy in your weightlifting ability, and may lead to you to push yourself even harder in the gym. Vicarious experiences happen when you see someone else accomplish a task, and then you compare yourself to them. This usually occurs when the person you are comparing yourself to is similar to you in skill or competence level. Comparisons to people who are not similar to you in these ways will not affect your self-efficacy as strongly because their abilities are unrelated to your own. Therefore, the people we compare ourselves to are usually our peers. Self-efficacy can also be influenced through persuasion. When people tell you you're good or bad at something, that alters your perception of your capabilities. This reinforcement from other people is especially effective when the person giving it is someone you trust and respect, and when the praise that person is giving is valid. Finally, self-efficacy can change moment to moment based on your emotions and physiological state. For instance, going into a test after hearing tragic news might lower your confidence in your test-taking ability. This source of self-efficacy is not as powerful as the ones we've just discussed, but emotional and physiological states can impact performance as well, which can in turn affect self-efficacy. For example, imagine you have a friend who is trying to quit smoking, and the following scene plays out. This is an example of a lower self-efficacy coming from past failed experiences. That's about it for this lesson, but before I go, I'd like you to think about your academic path and career goals. Has your self-efficacy for these goals been affected by your past successes or failures? Watching other people with similar goals succeed or fail? Feedback from others? Self-efficacy is a powerful player in our day-to-day lives. Keep the things we discussed today in mind the next time you find yourself assessing your own capabilities.